Alright, there's a bunch of little niggly details that we need to work out to get Spark actually up and running on your desktop in standalone mode, so let's just go through them all and get them out of the way. So far we've installed Python, we've installed Java. Next we need to install Spark itself. So back to a new browser tab here. Just head to spark.apache.org and click on the big friendly Download Spark button. Okay. Now this course has been tested with Spark 2.1.1, so we've given the choice. Anything beyond 2.0 should work just fine, but that's where we are today. Make sure you get a pre-built version, okay? And we're going to just do a direct download, so all these defaults are perfectly fine. Go ahead and download that package. Now what it's downloading is a TGZ file. That stands for tar and gzipped. So again, Spark, Windows is kind of an afterthought with Spark, quite honestly. And on Windows, you're not going to have a built-in utility for actually decompressing TGZ files, so you might need to install one if you don't have one already. The one I use is called WinRAR, and you can pick that up from a website called rarlabs.com, just like that. And just go to the Downloads page if you need it, and download the installer for WinRAR, 32-bit or 64-bit, depending on your operating system, and that will allow you to actually decompress TGZ files on Windows if you need it. So hit pause and go install that if needed. If not, let's check back on our Apache Spark download here. It looks like it came down, so I'm going to go ahead and show that in my Downloads folder. And let's go ahead and right-click on that and extract it to a folder of my choosing. Again, WinRAR is doing this for me at this point. Okay, so I should now have a folder associated with that package. Sure enough, there it is. Let's open that up. All right, and there is Spark itself. So I need to install that someplace where I'm going to remember it. You don't want to leave it in your Downloads folder, obviously. So let's go ahead and open up a new File Explorer window here. And I'm going to go to my C drive. And I'm going to create a new folder. And let's just call it Spark. So my Spark installation is going to live under C:\Spark. Again, nice and easy to remember. Open that up. I'm going to go in Control-A to select everything in the Spark distribution, Control-C to copy it back to where I want to put it into C Spark, and Control-V to paste it in. All right. Now, one little thing we need to do here, open up the conf folder where we installed Spark 2 and rename log4j.properties.template such that you just take the template off. So it should just be log4j.properties instead. Yes, I'm sure I want to change it. And now I can open that up. If you might need to right click there and say open with and select WordPad. And what I want to do is change this line here where it says root category info. I want to change that to error. And that will just remove the clutter of all the log spam that gets printed out when I run stuff. So change that from info to error, save it, and close out of your editor. Okay, so now, where are we? This is kind of exhausting. We've installed Python, we've installed Java, we've installed Spark. Now, the next thing we need to do is install something that will trick your PC into thinking that Hadoop exists. And again, this step is only necessary on Windows. So you can skip this step if you're on Mac or Linux. But for you Windows people, I want you to go to this link here. You should find this in the resources associated with this lecture on platforms that have such a thing. But if you want, you can just type this link in yourself by hand, okay? And if you download that, that will give you a copy of a little snippet of an executable that can be used to trick Spark into thinking that you actually have Hadoop. Now, since we're going to be running our scripts just locally on our desktop, it's not a big deal. We don't have to have Hadoop installed for real. This just, again, gets around yet another quirk of running Spark on Windows. So now that we have that, let's show that. Control-C to copy it out of my Downloads folder. And let's go to our C drive and create a place for it to live. So I'm going to create a new folder again, and we're going to call it WinUtils. And I'm going to open up that WinUtils folder I made and create another folder within it called bin. And within that bin folder, I'm going to paste that file that I just downloaded. Okay. This next step is only required on some systems, but just to be safe, open up a command prompt in Windows. So you can do that by going to your Start menu and going down to Windows, Windows System, Command Prompt. And from here, I want you to type in cdc:/winutils/bin, which is where we stuck our winutils.exe file. So if you do a dir, you should see that there. And now type in the following: winutils.exe chmod space 777 space \tmp\hive. And that just makes sure that all the file permissions you need to actually run Spark successfully are in place without any errors. So you can close that command prompt out now that you're done with that step. Wow, we're almost done, believe it or not. Now the last thing we need to do is set up some environment variables so all the software knows where to find each other. So to do that, let's close out of this browser, get out of all this stuff. I'm going to right-click on my Windows icon, and again, on different operating systems, you'll set environment variables in different ways, but on Windows, you do it through your control panel, and by clicking on System and Security, System, and then Advanced System Settings. And from here, you click on Environment Variables. So we need to set up a few here. Let's start. So I'm going to hit the New button for my user environment variables, and I'll start by defining one for Spark_home. And that's going to be the directory I installed Spark into, which is c:/Spark. Okay. Next, create another one. This one's going to be called Java_home. And that's where I installed the JDK. And that's going to be c:/JDK. And finally, I need to set up Hadoop home. That will be where I put the winutils.exe file, and that will just be c:/winutils, just like that. And I need to finally update my path. So I'm going to click on the path environment variable, hit edit, and I'm going to add a new path. It's going to be $spark_home $bin. And I'm going to add another one, $Java_home $bin. All right. Whew, I think that's it.